Howdy do! How the heck are you, man? Shake, shake, shake. Do a little dancing Buddha. Haven't done dancing Buddha in a long time. Woo-wee! Hey there! Woo! Hi, I love you all. Hey, so, it's time for a bourbon video. And I have this Jim Beam Signature Craft Bourbon 12-year-old bourbon. I got an itch here. I bought this when we were in Kentucky because I couldn't get it here. Well, now I can. We're just a little behind, but we do eventually get shit here. and good old Springfield, Missouri. So anyway, oh wow. I bought this back in October. I'm just now getting around to cracking it, if you saw that there. This is the first pour out of it, so I'm going to do roughly, just for a tasting, just a touch there. Whoops, and I dribbled. Damn it, I hate it when that happens, man. Do enough just to do a little tasting here. The aromas are gorgeous. You definitely can smell the white oak, certainly vanilla, caramel. Yowzer. That is yummy and extremely smooth. I'm going to do something that they do at tastings and just put a drop of water in there. And then do the little swirly swirl again. And what that does, if you've ever done this at a tasting, is it just opens up that nose even more, man. There was a time when bourbon was kind of the redheaded stepchild of whiskey. It was basically working class whiskey. If you had money, you bought scotch. Irish whiskey was forgot about for a long time, but has now made a heck of a comeback. But bourbon is no longer thought of a poor man's whiskey. There are some great bourbons out there. There are even great bourbons at low price points, to be honest with you. But bourbon has become not a poor man's whiskey anymore. I mean, this is a 12-year-old whiskey, which at one time would have been unheard of. This is a 12-year-old bourbon, and it's on par with any, a 12-year-old Scotch or 12-year-old Irish. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying the flavors are the same. I'm just saying quality is equal. Oh, that's very nice. Oh, that's beautiful whiskey. It is what you expect from a bourbon. It is big and bold. You do get vanilla. You do get the oak. A little bit of smokiness. But it is a 12-year-old version, which you expect to be smooth and just decadent, and it is. It does all those things. I tell folks, I don't consider myself an expert by any means, but I've been drinking whiskey a long time, man. So I know a little bit. For me anyway, bourbon is the boldest of the whiskeys. If your palate likes big flavors, bourbon is the way to go. Now, I started out as a bourbon drinker as a kid. As I got older, I switched to Irish because Irish is very smooth. I also had a stint where I drank Scotch, which is very distinctive. But for big, bold flavors, I think bourbon is the way to go. Again, for me anyway, for my palate, I think the smoothest whiskey, if you want a smooth, likable whiskey, Irish whiskey is the way to go. It is, without a doubt, the smoothest of all the big whiskeys. Canadian whiskeys, like a Crown Royal that uses rye as the main grain, has a little bit of spiciness, so that gives you some flavor as well. Scotches are very distinctive. You got that big peaty smoke going on. But Irish is, for me anyway, the smoothest. But for bold, if you like big, bold, wow in your face flavors, I really think bourbons are the best. And there are some incredible, incredible great bourbons on the market now. And I'm glad to see Jim Beam really stepping up and doing bourbons like this. This is an awesome 12-year-old bourbon. So there you go. I'm Tom the Beer Whisperer, and tonight I'm whispering the whiskey, man.